So kind of walk us through your first time meeting Coach Wagner.
My first time meeting him, I actually, when I was at U City, I had another assistant who was in class, had a class with him, and they got to talking, and we needed a coach, and so I interviewed him, and it was crazy because it wasn't probably as thorough as I do interviews now. I was begging guys to coach with us at U City.
What's good,
What's up, baby?
How you doing?
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Head coach at Ritenour, man. How does it feel?
Feels great. First black one in school history.
Yeah.
Man, so
Oh, yeah.
feel blessed.
So, 10 years we basically been together. And now, you know, seeing you get an opportunity that you work so hard for to be a head coach, I'm really excited for you. Finally won the state championship.
Got it done.
Finally got it done.
Been a long time coming.
You know,
decision.
People that see it now don't really realize what we've been through in terms of our journey, you know, in terms of going back to 2010, 2011, being in that equipment room at U City with the guys we were with, kind of trying to find out what our philosophy, what our style was going to be, looking for answers, you know, and kind of this being a culmination of all of those things and all of those hours, losing some big games, to add it up, you know, and you being such a big process. When people think you've been my special teams coordinator,
strength and conditioning
coach, you've been my defensive coordinator on some great teams, then you've been the offensive coordinator on the state title team, and now it puts you in a position to be a head coach. You know, I'm just excited for you, man, for you, for your family, and the opportunity that you have in front of you.
I appreciate it.
You know, when you think back to this team compared to the other teams we have, what do you think made this group special? Like, what do you think made this team be the team that could finish the job?
I mean, we always had talent. I think that each year, every time we lost, we went back to the drawing board and we figured out something new that we had to change. And so over the course of those 10 years, we made just significant strides towards building a program. And the final thing was just holding our kids accountable to that character piece. And so this past season, I think when we finished, our seniors maybe had nobody in that entire senior group had below a C on there. That's something that we hadn't had before.
And so when you think about the way that those group of seniors ended, especially when you think about the leadership of a guy like Antonio Doyle, who we really challenged to change. We really challenged Octavian Brown to change. And we really challenged guys like Jalen Head, who hadn't been a major player for us prior to that, to do more. For Cam Griffin, who had been a key player on some of the really good teams we had, but he had to step into a major role. And I'm really proud of the way that those guys finished it off.
Absolutely.
You know, so you're the first black coach in the history of Ritenour.
Yeah.
How does it feel, and how is that? How important is that to that community?
Just with the demographics of the district changing, I mean, at this point, it's about 40-40-20 with black, white to Hispanic. I think it's important for our kids to see somebody who looks like them in a leadership role. And so to that community, I think it means a lot, just from, you know, speaking to parents and things like that. For me, it's cool because, I mean, I came from nothing, you know. I was homeless for about 5 years of my life growing up. You know, I got put out of my house when I was 17. And so being able to have that story and get that story to kids that are living in similar situations and showing them that it is okay and you can make it, I think it's a beautiful thing coming from somebody in a leadership role. So I'm blessed, man, and at this point, I just want to do what you did for me and some of the other guys that have taken off and empower other people and open doors for them, you know.
You know, the key, I think, when you take over a program, and I think back to when we went to U City and Hazelwood West and even coming into Lutheran North, is stick to your plan. Right. Trust your plan. When you sit in that seat as the head coach, everybody's going to have an opinion, from the parents to the administration to the kids to the alumni. They all are going to have something to say in terms that you should do. And when you coach in a place like St. Louis, right, the criticism is so high. It's going to always be somebody that's trying to say something. You got to really understand when you go in there with your plan, no matter what, you have to stick with it. And sometimes when you on your way to that destination that you're trying to get to, there's some devastating losses in there. You got a plan going. We had a great team at University City, to end it, and we lose a devastating game to Clayton on a block field goal, right? You coming into Lutheran North, you lose a game to Trinity in the district championship. Some things got to change. You come out the following year, you feel like you have the team and you got the guys that we had, and you lose by 1 to Lamar. Those are devastating losses, and you have to be able to pick yourself up after those, and you have to keep going through that process over and over again, and most importantly, trust yourself. When you have an innovative mind and you're trying to figure out how you're going to do, there's going to be people that don't understand the way that you think. Right. They don't understand the thought process that you have. The best advice that I can give you as you go forward is to trust yourself and to trust the plan that you have, and it's because it's a great plan, and it's something that's been crafted over a long period of time.
What does Coach Wagner mean to you outside of football?
The biggest thing that he's done for me, I think the most important critical thing that gets overlooked is pushing me to step into my greatness, right? And when I come up with something, pushing me to do it. If I see it, I go to Kyle and say, well, what do you think about this? And he's like, do it.
Man, so I appreciate everything you've done for me over the last 10 years. Teaching me about loyalty, teaching me what family was mainly, because that's something that I had lacked. And so I know a lot of people think about the football aspect of it, but it's a lot bigger than football for us. And honestly, delivering you the state championship last year was one of my big life goals, and so that kind of made it okay for me to get ready to go and go out on my own. Once I did that, I couldn't leave until I did that. So I appreciate you, man. I love you.
You mean just as much to me as I mean to you. I became a better man and grew in the time from going from our 20s and I'm almost 40 now. And the experiences that we had together, the wins, the losses, the off the field stuff. You get married, you're having kids, being at your wedding, all of those things, the time we spent together off the field that people don't really realize happens, and you grow into a family. My kids call you uncle, and a lot of people don't know that when I made you the coordinator, that was Devin, my son's call. He was the one who was adamant that needed to happen. He actually saw it even before I saw it, and that comes from intertwining those families so close together. I just believe you're going to have massive success, and you were the guy for that job, and I'm so happy that you got the opportunity.
Time to go to work, baby.
Hey, get it done. Good luck. I see you at the top, baby.
Absolutely.
And when you play for the state championship, I'll be there.
Oh yeah. I got you.
What is a memory that you're going to take with you forever that you've had with him?
Winning the championship. Getting over that hump, because you always went into every season feeling like you had a chance. Even when we didn't have a chance, we felt like we had one. And finally getting it done because of all the work that was put into it. I mean, people have no idea on the outside looking in versus what we went through to get to this point.
Of course, you send recommendation letters to coaches. Kind of walk us through a little bit of what you kind of told Ritenour about Coach Wagner.
Well, when the job came open, I immediately got in touch with the people over there because I knew he was ready and I knew it was his time. And I told them if they wanted to turn the program around, that he was the man for the job and that he had a full plan that would work for their community.
Finally, what does it mean to have guys that are under you to go out and finally get their own head coaching job?
I think it's important. I think it's important for them to grow because it puts them in a better situation to take care of their families. It allows us to impact more kids. The more guys that come from our belief system and our philosophy on loving and sending kids to the next level, the more guys we can get in those positions, it's helping more kids. He's going to get a group of guys under him, and after they learn the way that he does it and he pushes them out on their own, it's just going to circulate throughout the whole area.
And I said it was the last question, but I got one final one for you. Can we get a scrimmage? Are we gonna see that? We gonna get something?
We definitely gonna get some work together. We have to. We have to evaluate each other's programs at all times. So we definitely, but it won't be any cameras there.